Greetings. This is Doc Ock here today, coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Studio with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. Guaranteed to make you feel real fine because this ain't just a line. Proverb for today. Let's get right into it. Only a monkey understands a monkey. Only a monkey understands a monkey. Proverb from Sierra Leone. And we've got another poem from We Rise, We Resist, We Raise Our Voices. See what we got for today. 1,000 Winters by Kwame Alexander. See what Brother Kwame has got to say. The other day, on the way, for bubblegum, ice cream, her favorite. My 6-year-old cautions me to slow down. "You're driving too fast, Dad," she exclaims, with a worried frown holding tears she's not supposed to have yet or ever beneath her raised brow. "And I don't want the police to take you away from me." On another day, we walk home from school like we have all year, waving at the crossing guard, sloshing through the puddled tunnel, passing the corner church when she asks, "Am I going to vacation Bible school this year?" "Yes," is what I would have said without hesitation before Charleston. But today, my words are cold. Hope is frozen. Summer's here, but it feels like 1,000 winters and the world is not such a beautiful place anymore. "Dad, I asked you a question," she repeats. "Last night, the sky was ablaze. Bolts of lightning shot across the night like our very soul was on fire, and I sat writing next to a sea of flames, wondering if these are not times for poets. If words, sentences, and books aren't enough anymore, if my first mistake was listening to NPR with her in the car, if this middle passage of murder is becoming normal, if those of us who jumped were the sane ones, if we can't survive this storm, how will our children?" She asks for 2 scoops. I give her 1. It's before dinner. Plus a topping, the red, white, and blue sprinkles, dispersed like little stars across her face and shirt, and she devours her treat, cone and all, so fast and so free that when it disappears, she's in disbelief. And so am I. Interesting poem. Now on to our story. Apparently, this is the story I should have read last night, but I read an alternate story. So we're going to get black to this one tonight. No Crystal Stair, the story, the Michaux story. And we're going to go ahead and read the next section of this. I really like this one here. This is a good story. Louis: "I tried to make some money picking berries. That farmer man was paying 2 cents a quart, and the best you could pick was 10 quarts a day, 20 cents worth. There were about 100 kids picking. That great man with his great big hat on sat up under a willow tree with crates and boxes all around. We'd bring him a quart of berries and he'd give us a 2-cent coin. Them old-timey 2-cent copper coins are so big, when we get 10, we think we're rich. Then one day last week, after I picked about a half a quart of berries, I stopped and looked at this man's place. He had corn, tomatoes, cabbage, all kinds of vegetables. He had cows, sheep, mules, horses, chickens, pigs, and I don't know what else. And I wondered, how did this man get all this stuff? Picking berries? Nah, he got it stealing the sweat of colored boys like me. So I took that half quart of berries and ate them. Then I went down to his barn. There were lots of sacks filled with corn. I tried to pick one up, but it was too heavy. So I emptied one of those croaker sacks and took it over to the pig pen. The sows had some itty bitty babies, and I went over there and took 3 of them and put them in the bag. Then I went down the road to a water tank and sat there until a freight train stopped to fill up. I got on. Didn't know where it was going, but I needed to get away with those squealers. Sometime down the road, the train stopped and I hopped off. I tied those pigs to a tree and looked around. Down through the woods, I saw a lumber mill where some colored men were hauling logs. I went down there and said to one of the men, "You want to buy a pig?" He said, "Pig? Where you going, pig?" I said, "I ain't got to get the pig. I already got the pig." So he comes back through the woods with me, and I sold those 3 pigs for $1.50 each. That's what I'm talking about. I made $4.50 in 2 hours. Now I'm in business. I'm not picking berries no more. I'm picking pigs. 1910, John Henry. The judge sentenced my boy to 20 lashes for stealing a sack of peanuts. A sack of peanuts. Lewis needed to be punished, but this was harsh. The police whipped him behind the courthouse, and all I could do was stand there and watch them beat my boy. They expect he'll learn from this treatment. He will, but not what they think. Lewis didn't cry out. Only 14 years old and didn't cry out. Refused to. Just glared straight ahead, angry. The boy is stubborn. Keeps right on taking things. I've been trying to send him down a better path than the one he's on, but he's gotten worse since Blanche came home from the hospital. Been stealing livestock from some of our neighbors, white ones, so it makes things worse for the boy, and that doesn't do me or my business any good. I get produce from some of these folks, from some of them. Papa makes excuses for him, but I know he is shamed by Lewis's shenanigans. I remember back in the day when Lewis and I worked together pushing Papa's fish cart down Jefferson Avenue. Lewis was 9 or 10, I guess. He'd yell, "Clams and oysters worth a holler. Step right up and bring them dollars. Best in town, I couldn't be prouder. If you don't buy, I'll say it louder. Clams and oysters worth a holler. Step right up and bring them dollars. Best in town, I couldn't be prouder. If you don't buy, I'll say it louder. Yeah, 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 yeah." Get him while you can. Then he'd start it over louder. People would laugh, but then come over and buy fish. Lewis is surely clever, and people like him. Now he's 19 years old and serving time. I pray for him. Maybe that chain gang will straighten him out. Lewis, when I got locked up, the old judge says to me, "Boy, what do you do to live?" I say, "I do like the white folks." "And what is that?" I said, "Breathe." "What else could you do to live?" He says, "You being smart, boy?" Yeah, he says, "You being smart, boy?" I say, "I don't mean it that way. This is the way you asked it. What do you do? What you do to live?" I say, "To live, I breathe." He says, "I mean, what do you do for a living? You got me locked up for what I do?" I say, "You got me locked up for what I do?" "The same thing white folks do," he says. "What is that?" "Steal. You came to America and stole America from the Indians. Then that was so good, you went to Africa and stole my ancestors and enslaved us." The judge didn't answer. He just gave me a sentence. One solitary sentence. That's all it takes. It sure don't take much. You can't walk straight on a crooked line. You try, and you'll break your leg. How can you walk straight in a crooked system? Even Papa knows that. He was always saying how he had more brands of whiskey than anybody ever thought of, and I found out why. One day, I wasn't more than 9 years old. Papa sent Lightfoot and me down to the cellar to get some old bottles of Old Sod and Old Henry for the bar. Papa had 23 bottles with different labels on them, but there was only one barrel of whiskey down there, just one. He put the same whiskey in the Old Sod bottle, the same whiskey in the Old Henry bottle, and the same whiskey in every other bottle. Customers would come in and say, "Give me a shot of that old turkey this time. It's smoother than Old Sod." They didn't even know the difference. Well, that taught me something. Taught me that people don't know half the things they need to know. Make no mistake, Papa works kind of hard. Nothing was handed to him. It's true, he had to do some cowtown to get his business going. I remember hearing him sirring them while they were buoying him, and worse, behind his back. They would charge Papa more for stock than white merchants, like he was just some dumb Negro who didn't know. Well, he wasn't so dumb. Papa knew, and all the while, they weren't looking. Papa became the self-sufficient black man Marcus Garvey talks about. A fellow told me the other day, it don't make no difference. Your daddy's still working for the white man. I said, well, maybe so, but not directly, and that's something. When I look at Papa, I see him bent over with all kinds of ailments. If I'll never break myself up working for the white man, I'm going to use my head and stay off my knees. I'm going to use my head and stay off my knees. Well, that's the most important part of that whole piece right there, is that part right there. And so we're up now to 1920. So we start off in 1910. That's 1920. I may read a couple more times from that one because that is a pretty interesting book. And I think you all may enjoy it. If you like that book, give me a like. If you don't like the book, leave a comment. You know why you don't like the book. Okay? And in the meanwhile, I'm going to leave y'all with a smile. Everybody knows what to do, and you know how to do it in the very right style. All you little children, lay that head down on that little pillow, on that little bed, close your eyes and wait for the sun to rise. When you see it coming up, when you feel those sunbeams beaming on your eyes, it's time for you to get on up. Get on up. Get on up. Get on up. Exactly. Rise and shine in the new day. And all you adults out there, we're still looking for your donations. Go on and send them in. Don't be shy. You don't have to buy if you just like to try it. Just give us a whirl. And I promise you, we will keep on doing what we have been doing, which is bringing you an alternative to the daily news, an alternative to the COVID-19 news. We're bringing you something outside of the norm that can give you hope for the future and knowledge of the past right here in the present. So that's a gift. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Send us a little dinero, a little bit of dinero. Thank you. Peace out, y'all. We'll be back here tomorrow at noon and again at 9 until we meet again. 2009.